Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Learning with Leslie, the podcast where you learn, I learn, we all learn about how to become indispensable in the age of AI. I'm excited to bring this episode for you today because today I'm sharing a keynote presentation that I did. This is my first time sharing this keynote presentation. I did it at the Central Bank on the island, the beautiful Caribbean island of Curaçao, and it is becoming my message as I move forward. And I want to share this with you. I'm going to share the entire thing. It's about 30 minutes long. I think you're going to get a lot of value about it. If you've been trying to figure out how do I navigate all the changes that's happening, this is the episode for you. A lot of people are saying AI is coming to replace us. I believe that if you leverage AI, you're going to be doing some amazing things, and I want to equip and empower you to do that. As we go through the keynote presentation, I'm going to give some examples of some workflows and some automations that I've set up for clients. I offer this as a service. If you are interested and you want to find out more, go to iamlesliesamuel.com/automation. I have one spot still open. I was trying to start this by working with 3 clients, and I have 2 already. So if you're interested, go to iamlesliesamuel.com/automation or reach out to me if you have any questions. But without further ado, let's head on over to the episode where I talk about how to become indispensable in the age of AI. All right, so we just had lunch. And if you think that because we just had lunch, this means that you can, we call it the itis. Do y'all know what that means? When there's inflammation in the sleeping thingy. That was not a biological term, I'm sorry. If you think that you could just now relax, you are wrong. Because we got some good stuff to talk about here today. I am excited to be here because everyone is talking about AI and all of the amazing things that it can do. And there are a lot of people that are talking about how AI is here to replace us and how AI can do everything. And because AI can do everything, it makes us almost dispensable. What I want to propose to you is that there are ways that we can leverage AI to become indispensable. Does that sound interesting to anyone? Yes. Okay, now I have a few questions. Is there anyone here that when it comes to AI, you have a sense of fear? Go ahead and raise your hand. Okay? My hand is up because I too have a sense of fear, by the way. But okay, is there some level of fear? No fear at all. Everybody's like, this AI thing is gonna be great. It's gonna help me in every way. I have no concerns whatsoever. If that is the case, you're not paying attention. Because the reality is there are some legitimate concerns. All right? And we have to be aware of that. But what I want to talk to you about on the brighter side is how do we leverage AI to become indispensable to our organizations, to become indispensable to our community, and to become indispensable just generally speaking. And that's what we're going to get in today. Because the reality is AI isn't coming. AI is not coming. AI is here. And right now, it is literally changing how business gets done. And if you haven't fully experienced that as yet, you're going to experience it. Now, I want to give you a little bit of information about my background. So actually, I'm a biologist. I went to school for biology. I got a degree in biology, and I got so fascinated by the brain and how the nervous system works that I went on for a master's degree in neurobiology. And the idea was I wanted to become a professor teaching neurobiology at the university level. But then something happened. As I was doing my master's degree, I realized that I hated research. Now, I don't know if you know anything about PhDs, but there's a little bit of research involved in getting a PhD. In fact, there was a lot of research involved in getting a PhD, and I had done a lot of it in my master's degree between the US and Germany. And I was in lab for hours and hours and hours. And I was dissecting crickets. Does that sound exciting? No, nobody's excited about dissecting. Yay! I see hands in the back. Dissecting crickets and recording from their neurons. Now, as exciting as that sounds, it wasn't exciting to me because all I wanted to do was teach. I wanted to teach people about the nervous system and the brain and how all of this functions. But since I didn't have a PhD and I wasn't a university professor, I decided I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to teach whatever I wanted to teach because nobody can stop me. And that's exactly what I did. My first video was, what is a neuron? And an introduction to the nervous system. And I got all nerdy and geeky, and it was like, y'all don't look excited about my biology. What's going on? Okay? I need a little more enthusiasm. There you go. All right, so I started teaching this on YouTube, and then this channel and the website started to grow. I remember the first month, I had 400 people visit the site. And I was like, what in the world? 400 people to watch my videos? The next month, 800 came. And then 1,200, and then 2,000. And then eventually it got into the thousands. And at a certain point, I was getting about 100,000 people in a month watching these videos. Now today the channel is at about 376,000 subscribers, and I'm just on there making biology fun. Some of you look at me like, biology fun? Yeah, really? Yeah, I'm making biology fun. All right? Now, interesting thing about that is because of what I was doing online, and this is something important to pay attention to, I don't have a PhD. But because I was teaching what I would be teaching if I had a PhD, I got a job as a university professor teaching exactly what I wanted to teach in a Doctor of Physical Therapy program. So I'm now teaching people that are getting their doctorates, and I don't even have a doctorate. But why? Because I took pay attention to me, because I took advantage of the technology that was available to me. Yes, that deserves a, what are we going to call this? We need a name for it.
Jazz hands.
Jazz hands. That deserves a jazz hand. Because I took advantage of the technology that was available to me, I landed a job where there were 30 applicants with PhDs, and they took me instead. All right? Now, I then left that job because I didn't want a job anymore. I wanted to work for myself. And now I do this. I speak, I teach people about how I was able to grow what I grew online. I teach people now about AI and automation because, listen, like I said, AI is here and it's changing the way we do everything. Now, when most people think about AI, what do they think about? Huh? I heard it, right? Almost everyone will say, oh yeah, I use AI, ChatGPT, right? And ChatGPT is a great start. But the reality is, ChatGPT is a tool. It's one tool that we can put in our toolbox that has all kinds of other stuff from platforms like N8N and Make.com, and even Canva has AI built in, and Notion, and all of these different platforms that we can use to do some amazing stuff. Now, what I want to cover with you today is my AAA model, all right, AAA. And it's 3 A's. The first A is automate. We're starting from the bottom. This is where we're setting the foundation. We're going to be talking about automating. Then amplify. And then ascend. These are the 3 A's. What is A number 1? Nah. Come on. I know we're in the central bank. We got blah. No. I want a little more than that. What is A number 1? Automate. Number 2? Amplify. And number 3? Ascend. Okay, sweet. That's as loud as we're going to get, okay? Hopefully that's okay. First, let's start at the bottom. we are going to start with the concept of automation. This is the base level where I want us to start. Now, automation basically replaces repetitive effort. Are there things in your business, on your job, that you got to do over and over and over again, and it's the same thing and it's very repetitive? Here's the thing. AI and automation can almost eliminate the bulk of that. All right? And that's what we're going to be talking about. If it happens the same way every time, don't waste your brain on it. Now, I have one client that I just started working with. Now, if you see this and it looks very complicated, don't worry about it. You don't have to know all the details. But one of my clients is an e-commerce company. So she sells homeschool resources online, and she's done it very successfully. She's built a 7-figure business where it just started with her at home talking about, here's how I'm homeschooling my kids. And now she has a 7-figure business doing this. Now, we had a meeting, in one of our first meetings, she started talking about her biggest pain point. And that biggest pain point was customer service. All of the emails and the questions that come in from social media, via email, via their ticketing system, via all of the different platforms, and they have to go and they are giving the same answers over and over and over. Now, here's the beauty of this. A lot of that can be automated. So we are building out a system where it's taking the information that's coming in, it's analyzing that information. Most of the information that they need is available on her website. So it's going to then analyze the information on the website, compare it to what they're asking, and then come up with an answer and give it to them. And you know what? Ultimately, they don't even need to be as involved in the process. Now, when you're doing something like this in the beginning, how many people know that AI platforms like ChatGPT, sometimes they make stuff up? Hallucinations? Sometimes they just give you wrong information. All right? So when you're setting up a system like this, you want to make sure that it's doing what it needs to be doing. So when we roll this out, at first, it's going to come up with a response and it needs approval. And we're going to do that over and over and over until we're confident that, okay, it's doing it right. And by that point now, we've automated something that is very repetitive. Does that make sense? So automation, another example of this. There's this device that he has on around his neck. Anyone ever seen those? I actually have one right now. It's right here. And this is an AI pendant that basically does what the system you're using is doing. It is transcribing what I'm saying. Now, anybody use Otter or any of those platforms where it transcribes your video calls and stuff like that? Anyone familiar with that? Okay, we have a few people that do that. What happens with that information when you're done? You have like a bunch of transcripts, right? And oftentimes you don't know what to do with it, right? So I've built a system, a workflow that is basically taking that information and then it's going to analyze it over here. And then it's going to say, hey, what is this about? Is this a coaching call? Because if it's a coaching call, then what I can do is I'm going to summarize the coaching call with some action points and then send an email to the person that I was coaching. And I can do that all, I like to call it automagically. I go on morning walks in the morning, and when I go on my morning walks, that's my time to talk to God. And I do my prayer at that point. When it sees that it's a prayer, it'll automatically take it and format it in a certain way and bring it into Notion for me, because Notion is the program that I use to keep track of a lot of my documents. And now I have automatically all of my prayers categorized. And then based on what is done, what it detects, it can then say, okay, you said when it's this, do this. You said when it's that, do that. And it can, do you see how useful that can be? Now I'm not just taking in information, I'm taking the information in and it's doing stuff with it, depending on the context. All right? Now, Some of you are thinking, okay, that sounds good, but how in the world do I do it? And the reality is, some of the stuff that I'm setting up, it uses code. This is JavaScript. Any JavaScript experts in the place? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody? Anybody look at this and they know exactly what's going on? Because the reality is, a lot of this, I don't even know what's going on. But here's what I do. I went to ChatGPT, and I said to ChatGPT, I've been hearing a lot about automation, and I want to do some automation in my business. Here is what my business is about. This is the key. I want you to pay attention, right? This is what my business is about. I don't know where to start. Can you give me some ideas of some things that I can automate? And you know what happened? It came up with a bunch of ideas, and then it asked me, where do you want to start? Which one do you want to go with first? The first thing was automating my email. And I said, ooh, I like that. My email is a mess. I get a lot of stuff from a lot of people, and sometimes it takes me a long time to get through it. It had me begin with doing simple things that we know about, like setting up filters to filter your email depending on the topic, depending on where it's coming through. And I set that up. Okay, that was very basic. And I was like, okay, great. This is not using a bunch of AI or anything, but it simplified my inbox. And then it started saying, okay, now you can automate what you do with your transcripts. It can automate what you do with these different aspects of your business. And then as I'm going through, I'm basically saying, yeah, this is a very typical response for me. Yeah, that sounds great. So I want you to walk me through each but one step at a time. Once we finish the first step, then I need you to give me the next step. Because you know what? I am not an expert at code. I am not an expert, or at least I was not an expert at automation. This is when I was getting started. I don't know how to do it. How do I do it? And then it gives me the first step. I can do the first step. And then sometimes it asks me for code. And I'm like, this is literally me. It's asking me for code. I don't know what to do. And ChatGPT says, no problem. I got you covered. Here is code that you can use. You know what I am really good at? Copying and pasting. I am an expert at copying and pasting. You give me anything to copy, it'll be done in a second. You give me anything to paste, I got you. And one step at a time. A lot of you are thinking, yeah, this stuff sounds complicated. You only have to know how to do the first step. Anyone heard of AI Studio? Google AI Studio. Okay. If you haven't, I'm going to tell you something amazing. You go to aistudio.google.com. And then you see this thing right here that says stream? You click on stream. And then you see share screen? You click on share screen. And then Google will be like, oh, hi, I see you're doing this. Can I help you with something? And literally, you can be like, hey, I have this program open. I want to do this thing. I have no idea how to do it. And the Google dude or gal will start talking you through what to do one step at a time. It will literally say, you see that button on the top right of your screen? Click on it. And then you click on it. And then it will say, now enter in the following information. It's asking for code. I don't know what to do. Here is some code that you can use. And then you can use that ever so handy skill of copying and pasting. It's like having a private tutor walking you through each and every step. Do you think you could do that? Yes. I think you can. In fact, you're going to start doing some of it today, just to give you an idea. Okay, so we are automating those repetitive tasks. That's the first thing. These things that you have to do over and over and over, Let's automate that. People fill out a form online, and then you have to collect the form, and then you have to do this with it. And if it's this, then you have to send it to this person, you have to send it to that person. Get rid of those steps. It's repetitive, automate it. Okay, now that we finished the first A, what is the second A? Amplify. No, you didn't sound very amplified just now. What is A number 2? All right, let's talk about amplification. So I create biology videos. One of the types of videos that I create is something that I call truth or trash. Or actually, I have my daughter say that part of the video, truth or trash. And then it's like a myth busting for biology. So I will say something that you think it's true, but it's not when it comes to biology. Or you would never think that this is true, but it is. So for example, a newborn baby has more bones than an adult. Is that truth or trash? I heard truth and trash. It is actually true because the bones fuse. You learned something right now, and now it's truth. Hey! And a bunch of other things. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to creating my content, making videos takes a lot of work. Anybody familiar with that? Making videos, it does take a lot of work, right? And in the past, I used to struggle to create one video a day. One video a week, not one a day. So I thought to myself, how can I amplify my efforts? How can I do more? So what did I do? I set up a workflow. The tool that I'm using here is called N8N. N8N is a great one. Make.com is also a great one. It's a little simpler than N8N. I went to N8N because it allows me to do a bunch more advanced stuff, and I really like the capabilities. But this is what this workflow will do, just as an example. Every Monday at 1 a.m., it's gonna read a spreadsheet that I have that has all of the videos I've ever made, and then it's gonna combine it and send it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT will analyze it, and then ChatGPT will come up with 20 new suggestions for me, and it will combine it and then present it to me. So when I wake up in the morning, you know, sometimes we go to ChatGPT and we say, hey, can you give me ideas for such and such? Yeah. I don't do that anymore. I just have the machines do it for me. So now I am presented with this 20 new ideas, and I can approve it or I can deny it. So some examples. This is how it spits it out. Slime molds can solve mazes without a brain. And it tells me it's a true statement. And it's pending, you can see, and it's truth or trash. All snakes lay eggs to reproduce, and that is trash. So now I can look at these ideas and I could say, oh, that one sounds interesting. This one, not so much. And I can take the ones that I am interested in and then run it through a different workflow. All right? And that looks like this. It's then going to filter that, send it to OpenAI, ChatGPT, basically. ChatGPT is going to do some things, and it's going to write a script. It's going to come up with a title. It's going to come up with a description. It's going to come up with captions for Instagram. It's going to just come up with all of this information that I can use, and it's going to send it over to Notion. So, for example, here is one that it created where it talks about parrots. Parrots name their chicks by using unique sounds. Now, actually, I should have had a video to show you, but since I don't, I'm gonna act it out for you right now, okay? All right, because then I put this on a teleprompter and I try to read it. Okay, parrots name their chicks by using unique sounds, but is that true? And then my daughter, my wife sings an intro, bet you didn't know this about biology. And then my daughter says, truth or trash? And then I go on and I say, let's break it down. And then I read this. I've never done this in public before. This feels weird. You've probably heard that dolphins name each other, but parrots? That sounds wild. Still, these birds are shockingly smart. In the wild, especially among green-rumped parrotlets in Central and South America, researchers have noticed something amazing. Now, here's the thing, right? This actually sounds kind of like me. And it sounds kind of like me and how I do my videos because I've told it, this is how I want it to sound. And it just spits this out for me. It does it so well that in June, I had it come up with 85 different scripts, and I recorded 85 videos in 3 days. Is that amplifying? So we automated the repetitive things, but now, because I'm leveraging these automations and I'm plugging AI into it, I am able to amplify what I want to do. Does that make sense? Okay, sweet. The last A is? Ascend. Now, what do we mean by that? We've automated, we have amplified, and now we're going to elevate what only humans can do. Someone earlier said, AI is not here to replace us, it's here to enhance what we can do. A friend of mine said we shouldn't call it artificial intelligence, we should call it augmented intelligence. Because what it does, when used right, it augments what we can do and allows us to do so much. And the way I've chosen to use AI is by letting it take care of the mundane stuff so that I can focus on the things that only I can do. All right? What are those things when it comes to setting a vision and coming up with those ideas, when it comes to actually connecting with people? Sometimes we're so busy doing the repetitive things that we don't have the time to connect, to engage, to do the things where, the emotions are involved. I don't know, anybody realize that ChatGPT doesn't love you? I know it's disappointing. It sounds like it loves you, right? Because it says all these nice things about you and you're the smartest person in the world, and yes, it's your biggest cheerleader sometimes, but it can't do that. Only humans can do that. So can we leverage AI to do the other stuff so that we can just show up? Now, I remember I wanted to do a workshop on, this was a few years back, on ChatGPT. And I wanted to do it online. And I wanted to do it quickly. And I wanted to do it the next week. Now, when you have these ideas for things like this, sometimes, you got to go through this extensive process, right? And coming up with the promotional material, setting up the website and all this kind of stuff, and all of the things related to a launch. I went from idea to having a fully functioning website, to having all of the emails that I need to send out, to having all of the resources and the assets. Within 24 hours, I started to promote this course. Within 24 hours. It would have taken me, pre-AI, I don't know, a few weeks? But I was ready to go. Now, some people are saying, some people would say, but you're just letting ChatGPT do all the work. I look at it differently. I let ChatGPT take care of all the little nuances and all the stuff, the assets that are needed, so that people can show up and I can just help them. So that people can show up and I can just serve them. And that's the mindset that I want us to have when it comes to AI. All right? Number one, all of the things that are repetitive, let's just automate it. Number two, amplify your output by leveraging AI so that you can do more. And number three, raise to the top the things that only humans can do. And that is the path to becoming indispensable in this age of AI. Does that make sense? Yes. Because the truth is, the future doesn't belong to the computers. The computers can do amazing things, not the fastest computers. The reality is, it belongs to the entrepreneurs who know how to command them. And whether you think you know how to command them or not, the reality is, you can. And all you have to do is leverage the tools to do the things. Now, we are going to have a workshop today, and what I was going to do is I was going to walk you through a very simple process for creating your first workflow. And I was going to give you a workflow that I wanted you to create. But then I thought about it, and I thought to myself, okay, that's interesting, but that doesn't necessarily help you with what you're dealing with in your business. So we're going to actually approach it from a different perspective. Rather than everyone create the workflow that I want you to create, I'm going to walk you through a process of determining what exactly you need to do and how to do it. Is that okay? Yes. Is that okay? Yes. All right, I see the hands waving. Thank you so much for your time. Ife is going to come up, and we are going to transition over into the hall where we're going to get started with our workshop. Thank you. And there you have it. I hope you got tons of value from that. Once again, I want to remind you, if you want to get help with your automations, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner that is doing amazing things, but you know you could be doing more when it comes to AI and getting stuff automated, head on over to iamlesliesamuel.com/automation. I have one slot open as of right now. Hopefully you get to me before that one slot gets picked up. But if you have any questions, reach out to me on Instagram, reach out to me anywhere. I am Leslie Samuel. So you can find me on the platforms. I am Leslie Samuel on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anywhere. All right, that's it for this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and God bless.